beautiful occasion and a beautiful day to celebrate a great event. To our graduates, I want to welcome you to the finish line. For many of you, the last few years may have seemed like a long race, and today is your victory lap. But tomorrow, a new race begins. Before you begin that next chapter in your life, it's important that you show gratitude to those who have helped you to reach today. There may be people and one day might need your help to reach their own finish line. You should be their coach, motivate them, and cheer them on from the sidelines when they take their own victory lap. Gratitude is like a baton in a relay. Keeping it to yourself helps no one, but passing it on connects you to someone else. And that connection is perpetual. So is your connection to the university. You will forever be Raging Cajuns. Now, our expectations of you do not end with commencement. In fact, we move the bar a little higher. When you leave these ceremonies, you'll continue to be ambassadors of your university. Remember the lessons learned here and the skills you acquired, and you will represent us well. Today is for celebration, but tomorrow, lace up your running shoes and live a life that inspires someone else. If you do that, you will leave a legacy of which you and your university can be rightly proud. Finally, I hope that this joyous season brings you and your loved ones peace, health, and happiness. Congratulations, go Cajuns.
Our first honoree is Mr. B.I. Moody III, Chairman of the Moody Company and of Louisiana State Newspapers Incorporated. His college career was interrupted by service in the U.S. Navy during World War II. After the war ended, he graduated from Southwestern Louisiana Institute, now known as the University of Louisiana at Lafayette, in 1949 with a bachelor's degree in accounting. Moody became a founding partner in the CPA firm Moody, Broussard, Poche, and Guidry. He later became president and chief executive officer of Charthouse Incorporated in Lafayette and chairman of the board for First National Bank of Lafayette. Moody has served on the boards of directors of many companies, including First Commerce of New Orleans, Riviana Foods Incorporated, Celeron Oil Company Incorporated, and Quantum Restaurants. In February of 2017, he was honored by the ULL Lafayette College that bears his name, the B.I. Moody III College of Business Administration. Plaques in this honor were installed in the building recognizing his significant financial contributions and personal support for the university. Moody was inducted into the Louisiana Political Museum's Hall of Fame in 2016. I now invite Dr. Savoy, Dr. Danaher, our Dean for the B.I. Moody III College of Business Administration, Dr. Beckton, and Mr. Moody to come forward for the hooding. Thank you so much.
Mr. Moody, through the authority vested in me by the Board of Supervisors for the University of Louisiana System, I now confer upon you the Honorary Doctorate of Business with all rights, privileges, and honors pertaining thereto. Congratulations, Dr. Moody.
Our second honoree and commencement speaker for today's ceremonies is Governor Kathleen Babineaux Blanco. Is truly a trailblazer in Louisiana political history. She received a bachelor's degree in business education from the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. Earlier in her career, Blanco was a political consultant, a district manager with the U.S. Census Bureau, and a high school teacher. In 1984, she became the first woman elected to represent Lafayette in the state legislature. 5 years later, she was the first woman elected to the Public Service Commission. She later became the first woman to serve as its chair. Before serving as governor, Blanco completed 2 terms as lieutenant governor. She was elected to that post in 1995 and re-elected in 1990 with 80% of the vote. In that role, she supervised the Department of Culture, Recreation, and Tourism. Under her leadership, tourism in Louisiana increased by 41%. This growth led to a $2.5 billion increase in the tourism industry's economic contribution to the state and the creation of 121,000 new tourism-related jobs. She became Louisiana's first female governor in 2004. The following year, she led the state during the largest natural disaster in American history at that time, when Hurricanes Katrina and Rita struck the Louisiana coast. She also was in charge of the recovery efforts. During her term as governor, Blanco directed the single largest increased investment in education in Louisiana's history, expanding the state's pre-K-12 program, fully funding Louisiana's colleges and universities for the first time in over 25 years. And I might add, we truly miss those days. I now invite Dr. Savoy, Dr. Danaher, and Dean Jordan Kelman, and Governor Blanco to please come forward for the hooding.
Governor Blanco, through the authority vested in me by the University of Louisiana System Board of Supervisors, I now confer upon you the degree, honorary doctorate of liberal arts, with all the rights, privileges, and honors pertaining thereto. Congratulations, Dr. Blanco.
Thank you, Dr. Savoy. It's a unique title for me, Dr. Blanco. Good morning, graduates. Well, it may be afternoon by now, not yet, but good morning, graduates, families, friends, distinguished guests. Today is a special day for me. It's my birthday. And let me just say very quickly, I am just simply happy to be alive and to be here with all of you. The gift of an honorary doctorate from my alma mater, I think, is the most unique birthday gift I've ever received. Wouldn't you agree? So So I want to say a special thank you to President Savoy and the university faculty and staff for this great honor. I will always cherish it. And I think it's extra special to share this day with a very dear friend I have known for so many years, Dr. B.I. Moody. Congratulations to you. The Moody family members have been friends of ours as well for a very long time. When Dr. Savoy called me a few months ago and asked me to be here today, I had no idea how quickly my life would turn upside down. I've been on many roller coaster rides in my lifetime, but I think this is probably the most challenging one yet. If by some chance you haven't heard, a few years ago I was diagnosed with a rare and dangerous melanoma of the eye. It was a cancer for which I was treated and my vision was preserved. At the end of October this year, I learned that the cancer had metastasized to my liver. This aggressive cancer has no known treatment, has treatments but no known cure. So as you can imagine, my life is suddenly filled with all sorts of new medical jargon, new medicines, and new doctors. So I've been thinking hard about what I want to say to you today, knowing that you could be my last audience, but I'm hoping not. As I reflect back over my life, I treasure the many years that I was blessed to serve the people of Louisiana in the political arena. I faced many challenges. I learned many lessons. I traveled the world, and today I bring you that 25 years, that quarter of century of experience, that knowledge about life in politics. Every day I served, I was exploring and creating more effective programs or systems or plans to make life better for Louisiana people, to educate children properly so we could reduce poverty, to fund hospitals and good doctors for our workers when they were ill, to recruit companies that paid decent salaries so that our people could have dignified work, to help struggling mothers train for those better jobs so that they could survive with their children. I worked hard at all this, and when our people were burdened with the wraths of Hurricanes Katrina and Rita, my work intensified. Those destructive forces made 1 million people homeless overnight. First Katrina, and then Rita. We had to fight back from a terrain that looked like nuclear disaster. It was a long, frustrating battle. Louisiana suffered over $100 billion of damage to our homes, to businesses, schools, hospitals, bridges, levees, highways, and more. But fight we did. You come from sturdy stock, you Louisiana men and women. We had a huge ground fight. But your parents and aunts and uncles and other relatives and friends jumped right in and said, "Show me the battlefront." That huge ground fight was an amazing thing to behold. Finding stranded people, getting them to safety and to medical care were the first things that had to happen. But after the first weeks, the battleground changed. We were left with a housing crisis, and if we didn't solve it, Southeast Louisiana and then coastal Louisiana all the way to Texas would have been a wasteland. Private insurance covered about half of the property damage. Government flood insurance covered another portion, but there were billions of dollars more of insured damage that left people empty-handed and homeless. So it was up to me, your governor, to take our pleas to Washington, D.C. It was there that I first encountered the harshness of partisan politics of Washington. I was shocked. A disproportionately high share of federal money was doled out to Mississippi because my friend and someone I really like, Governor Haley Barbour, is a Republican, and his party was in control of the House and Senate, and I am a Democrat, but they couldn't do enough for Haley at our expense. Not satisfied to give Mississippi a higher share of the money, Louisiana got accused for being responsible for our own fate, for our own destruction. We were told that we were so corrupt that we could not be trusted to spend large amounts of disaster money properly. They kicked us around pretty good. But I fought back. I told the real stories of valor and hard work and dedication. I went around the haters and the obstructionists. When that first Congress wouldn't budge, I went directly to President Bush to get his support, and it worked. Just for perspective, I was asking for billions for Louisiana. It wasn't pennies. We had received $6 billion in the first funding wave. Mississippi got $5 billion. They had 22% of the damage, and we had 75%. So you can do the quick math. Very disproportionate. I asked for $4 billion more dollars. It was primarily to help people with housing costs. And after enduring many more insulting remarks, I put guilt trips on the right people, and I got the second round of funding. It was after this I announced that I would not run for governor again because I knew that the work was going to be so hard. I needed to focus on the recovery. You see, if you think $10 billion should have done the trick, you're wrong. We recalculated the damages as we went along, and I needed $3 billion more specifically for housing. All that mean talk that came, and it was publicly done, all that mean talk coming from those members of Congress who were trying to make me and Louisiana look bad had a very interesting effect on the people who elected them to office. When they stood for re-election at the midterm, their people turned them out. They said that does not reflect the way we in the United States feel about Louisiana. So a number of them lost their re-election campaigns, and the Congress majority changed to Democrat. So now, with the Democrats in control of Congress, I'd kind of forgotten. I didn't really know how Congress operated. I had to go back. I kept going back. And every time I'd go back, I'd have to steel myself. I was getting angry, and I thought, how much more do we have to take? But after the turnaround, it never occurred to me there would be a whole different attitude there. After the Congress switched and the Democrats were a majority, when I arrived, I was welcomed and respected, and people were just falling all over themselves saying, "What can I do for you? What do you need?" I said, "I need $3 billion more." Well, in retrospect, when I look back at that, I thought I had died and come back Governor Haley Barbour. Now I know how he felt on the front end. Now I ask you, was that first behavior necessary? It really wasn't. It really wasn't. To behave that way in the face of the greatest natural disaster that this nation had ever seen was totally uncalled for. Why was party driving the level of compassionate response? If you ask me, I would say that Washington, D.C. has become so polarized, it's quite sick. both then and now. It's heartbreaking to witness the decline of civility. It's taken a backseat to anger, to outrage, to crudeness and sexual harassment, and to hear our government of the people, for the people, and by the people, taking such a bad rap. Government is important to all of our lives. It does such big things for us that we cannot do for ourselves. Politics has always been a tough sport, but the politics of today are getting rougher than ever. My hope is that good people rise up. I want us to reclaim civility, because without it, we simply cannot lift our state and nation to the great heights that are within our grasp. Throughout my career, I served in 4 different offices, and I never lost an election. But I faced dozens of political opponents through those years. Today, I want you to know that most of my opponents are really good friends of mine, with a couple of exceptions, because they won't allow that friendship. But I have always reached across and treated my opponents with respect, not like enemies. And it's made a huge difference in the quality of my life and those deep, wonderful friendships that have come from it. There is a new intensity coming out of Washington today that has taken the country into a really difficult place. When families cannot speak about politics without exploding, and the unhealthy politics has turned brother against brother and neighbor against neighbor, we have to say, stop, stop. We're arguing about the wrong things. Those are not the right things. But I hear commentators on radio and television stoking the fires of anger and outrage. They tell people every day the kinds of crazy things they ought to be angry about. Many, many nameless, faceless people are hiding online, writing the most fictitious, outrageous stories that could ever be written by the best fiction writers in all creation. And they're intended to keep our citizens angry. I usually say, follow the money. Someone somewhere is profiting off that anger and outrage. They don't care about us. They're cashing in on anger, and it's big business. So each of us has a choice. We can choose to follow them in their path of anger for the sake of anger, or we can choose peaceful serenity. I recommend serenity. Throughout every storm in my life, I pray, I seek joy, laughter, listen to music, be with family and friends, and enjoy happy pictures of my grandkids that they post on Instagram. I'm a powerful woman, and I don't say that because I was governor. I'm not powerful because I wield power then or now, but because I claim personal power, and I claim that power to define my personal happiness. I suggest you give yourself that great gift too. Claim your personal power over what comes into your mind, into your life, into your world, into your family. Reject the negative, accept the positives. These are great gifts that you will never regret. And please always remember that good manners are always in style. Your parents were right when they taught you those good manners. Many political tactics of today dehumanize people, and common courtesies have gone by the wayside. But you know, there are just so many things that are happening to us as we go along. My life is weighed in the balance now. So I do think more about that final day of judgment. And I heard a story recently that kind of touched my soul. It claims that when we die and appear at the doorsteps of heaven, God will invite us in, embrace us, and say, "My child, show me your scars. Show me your wounds. If you have no scars, if you have no wounds, God might say to you, were there no great battles worth fighting for? Did nothing capture your time or attention that was challenging and difficult, but worthy?" So accept your scars, accept your wounds. God will understand them. He will appreciate them. And in closing, I just want to say that the power of prayer is something I deeply, deeply appreciate. And I am an indiscriminate seeker of prayer. I want prayer from Republicans. I want prayer from Democrats. I want prayer from independents. I want prayer from unregistered people who are not registered to vote. I want prayer from people who have or are part of religions from all over the world. I want people to pray for me who live in every corner of the world. I think that people of prayer bring so much goodness to my soul and to our soul as a community. I want the innocent prayer of children. I want that prayer of the elderly who whisper in God's ear. He hears them really well. So as I told you, there's no known cure for my illness. I am enduring some interesting treatments on a liver that lives in a body that is otherwise healthy and strong, and my mind is still very clear. So, of course, like every person with something dreadful that they're dealing with, a cancer or heart disease or something that's putting their life in the balance, I'm praying for a miracle. Don't know if it'll happen, but I have put my life in God's hands because I believe in God and I trust Him, and I hope that you do too. Many, many blessings of Christmas and good cheer for the new year to all of you wonderful graduates, to the faculty, to your families, to your friends, to everyone who's here to support you and to say, congratulations, you've done a lot of hard work, but now you're just going to begin learning again. Learning never ends. There's a whole life out there. And Louisiana has a lot of work for you to do. So if you end up staying in Louisiana, God bless you. Tackle it with zest and zeal. Enjoy this life that you've got, because none of us know the day nor the hour. Make it count. Thank you. Thank you.
Governor Blanco, I'd now like to present you with this commemorative of this occasion as our commencement speaker. Do that. Don't move. And although you announced it, we knew it was your birthday, so we've got some special guests here. I think your grandchildren.
Today I'm feeling great. I have had a couple of weeks of not feeling so hot, but this week, after really, I think all the prayers that have just been falling all over my spirit and my head, I've begun to feel a lot better, a lot healthier, and so I'm hopeful. But then I'm going back for treatment next week, and I suppose it'll kind of start over.
How did it feel when they gave you the honorary doctorate degree?
That was pretty wonderful to be called out as Dr. Blanco. I've had a lot of titles through the years. That just was not one of them.
What are your thoughts on UL Lafayette?
Well, this campus is a wonderful, thriving campus, and the faculty and the staff and the students and the administration is just so special to me. My husband was here for over 40 years as a vice president. So I literally came to UL as a student. I moved to Lafayette. I lived here as part of the university family. I value higher education all over Louisiana. I especially value UL because it gave me my formation. It gave me my education. It gave me the tools I needed to be able to function in all the roles that came my way. I had a great education here.
What was your message to the graduates here today?
Well, I asked the graduates to look around and to accept challenges and to not shy away from difficult things, and to accept that that great challenges oftentimes give you wounds, give you scars, but then God knows, when you've been working hard to do something good for other people, there are great rewards. I guess our legacies are often decided by those who watch us, but I just know that I work very hard at whatever endeavor comes my way. It doesn't matter if it's something big. It doesn't matter if it's something small. It doesn't matter if it's inside my family or outside my family, in my neighborhood or in my community or in my state or in my nation. I just feel like if I don't give it my all, then I've not done what I needed to do, and I enjoy that.